B. Sensor is unplugged. We'll plug this. See how it went to 5,000? A lot of sketchy gravel. You got to be careful of that. Bike's ripping. It's run. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to part 2 of this R1 restore. Today we're going to start getting into the carbs because we do want to get this thing running good, and then after that we'll start doing the cosmetic stuff.
No matter what I do, I give up. I give up. And I just wanna feel like a good person, when I wake every single morning. Now I give up. I give up. I just wanna feel free without any expectations. So many people think they know me, but they only know my music. And there's so much opportunity, so hard to make the most of it. When you feel so depressed and your bed whispers just to stay in it, I think I've had enough of it. I know that I'm not gonna win. Surrendering my everything, I'm giving up, I'm giving in. Nobody understands what I'm going through. Can't explain when you don't come from it. I give up. No matter what I do, I'm not here, no. I try so hard to stop, I give in to every single bad temptation. And I just wanna feel like a good person, when I wake every single morning. Now I give up, I give up. I give up, I give up, I give And I just wanna feel like a good person, when I wake every single morning. Now I give up, I give up. I give up. I give up, I give up, I give up.
So the next thing I'm going to do before I put the carbs back into the boots and everything is we have our throttle position sensor right here, which obviously connects to the harness. I'm going to turn on the key and I'm going to make sure that the throttle position sensor is in the right place. If it's not, like I said, since the carbs are off, we can easily take these bolts out and then be able to replace this if needed. But basically, I did change the oil, so the oil light's going to be on, the gas light is going to be on because obviously there's no light. But let me actually turn it on, and then I'll actually get a view of the tachometer. And what I'm going to do is, after the bike is turned on, at least the key, not the engine running, I'm going to unplug the sensor, and then I'm going to plug it back in. And it should go to 5,000 RPMs. If it's right around there, then you know your sensor is where it should be. If it's not, then obviously you got to take the bolts, loosen it, and move it just a hair, and then retry it again until you get it to the 5,000 RPM. So I'll show you the tachometer as I'm doing it, because it's going to be a little hard to unplug this by hand and do it with holding the phone. So let me get the phone on this part over here. All right, like I said, we'll turn on our key. And now I will unplug the sensor and then plug it back in to see if it goes to where it's supposed to be. Sensor is unplugged. We'll plug this. See how it went to 5,000? All right, so that's where it needs to be. So I'm gonna plug this back in. It is good to go. As you can see, it does that. And then obviously when I shut off the key, it resets it, and it will be back to normal. Obviously showing the oil light and the gas light as well, because there's no oil on the bike right now. We dumped it. And of course the gas light will come on because we don't have it hooked up at all. All right, and just like that, we got the carbs back into the bike. Definitely make sure that you seat these things correctly. If they are on a tilt like this It may feel like it's in, but it's not. I probably tried to do this thing like 3 times already, and I thought they were good, but they're not. Definitely make sure that they go downward like this. Look at the carb bowl and with the boot to get it aligned. Obviously, make sure you loosen your clamps, and then obviously you gotta make sure you press it down fully and then tighten the clamps. I did end up stripping out one of these bolts just because I probably didn't get it at a good enough angle, but that's all right. I went to the hardware store and I got some just to replace them, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But yeah, everything's plugged back in now. Throttle position sensor's in there. This is back where it needs to be. The covers are back on. The little boot things are back on, so that's good to go. So now I'm going to actually replace this fuel filter. But before I put the new one on, I want to put the tank on here and keep running old fuel through here just to make sure they get all the crappy fuel that was in here out. I don't want any debris going back into the carbs because we spent all that time cleaning them, and obviously that would be counterproductive. So I'll put the tank back on. I'll turn the ignition switch a couple times with this red button down just so that it ends up activating the fuel pump and it keeps sucking it through. And I'll do this and I'll get a pretty good amount of gas out because, like I said, I fully want to flush it. After that, we'll put the new fuel filter on, and then we'll see how this thing runs. All right, so I flushed out the tank some more, put some regular fuel in it. I did run it through here. I turned on the key, and this is obviously pouring gas out of there. I did run it a couple times into a glass jar, and it was dirty, so I'm glad I did it. The fuel filter is probably good now, but I'm just going to swap it out anyway. It's a good rule of thumb. It was only like 20 bucks for the thing, so I'm going to go swap this out now, and then we'll hook it up to the carbs and start the bike. I did notice that the chain is pretty darn loose. Too loose, actually. So before I can ride it, I'll have to get that all situated. This side looks all right, but then when I looked at the other side, yeah, so obviously I'll have to tighten it, and then that thing got loose, so I don't know if this is loose. Doesn't feel like it, but either way, let me go swap out the fuel filter real quick, and then we can at least start it and see how it sounds. All right, we got our new fuel filter in. As you can see, there is an arrow on there, and it has to be pointing towards the clutch lever or the shifter side of the bike, because this hooks up to the tank, the fuel goes this way, and then obviously it goes into the fuel pump, which shoots up to the carbs. So make sure that that arrow, you can see it right there, that is pointing to the left side of the bike, which is the shifter side, clutch lever side, kickstand side, whatever you want to say it, but make sure that is going that way. All right, everything's hooked back up. This will be our first start. We got our choke. We got this on, so let's fire up and see how she sounds. Good. I'll have to go take this thing for a ride and check it out. All right, so we are taking the R1 for a little ride right now. The roads are super cold right now and the tires are not warmed up, so I got to be a little bit easy. But so far the bike seems to be running great. It actually rev it and it sounds like it's supposed to. These mirrors are definitely trash. I thought they were all right, but just the angle and everything, I don't know. They're for some kind of Yamaha, but definitely not this year model. So like I said, just a quick little video. Pretty sure my GoPro's screwed up. Something's not right. It's only filming like 8 minutes, and I had definitely room on the card. and the battery is good. So yeah, so far the bike is running great. Super happy with it right now. So that is a good thing. Probably should have checked the tire pressure, but they seemed pretty hard, so I think they're okay. These bikes run so cold in the winter. It's crazy. The clutch seems to be in pretty good shape, which is definitely awesome, man. I can't see shit out of these mirrors, but so far the bike's running awesome. Super happy with it. I'm sure I'll probably have to get the tires rebalanced because I see some weights fell off, but so I don't know if that's the clutch slipping or if it's just the tire being cold, because it is like 30 degrees out. Yeah, I think the clutch might be slipping, guys. I don't know. Kind of seems like it. Maybe there was some oil in here that you weren't supposed to put in that's making it slip. I don't know. It's definitely gonna have to be summer when I take this thing out for a ride to really get a good idea, because right now I just can't really get a good perspective on what it is, if it's just the tire or if it's just the clutch. Yeah, that's got to be the clutch, guys. So all right, so it might need a clutch. Not too big of a deal if that is the case. We'll take it off. If there is a bar nut clutch, I knew that I had to put heavier springs in there than I think, I don't know, the last one had like all stock or something, but it was slipping because of that. So we'll have to take off a lot of sketchy gravel. You got to be careful of that. I mean, other than that, the bike's ripping. It runs really good now. Before, like I said, I couldn't even ride it. Literally, I would go for a quick little ride. Well, I wouldn't even be able to go for a ride. I would just literally start to try to take off and it would just bog out and die, which is crazy, you know what I mean? So yeah, so far the bike is running awesome. Super happy with that. I did have to fix the alignment a little bit, but I think it's where it is now, but obviously I could always tweak it a little bit if need be. Thing definitely does seem grunny, which is awesome. So I think the bike's running good, guys. So far, so good. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, yeah, this bike's running awesome. Super happy with it. Like I said, I'll have to check out that clutch when it gets warmer out, because it is way too cold to tell if it's just slipping, because usually if the clutch is slipping, obviously at a higher RPM and when you're really ripping on it, it will start spooling up like the tachometer did, but usually it will happen at a lower RPM than what it was. If I could rev this thing to like 7-8K and it's not slipping like that, usually it's good. But like I said, who knows what kind of oil they had in here. Maybe it was just not the right oil. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is that this thing's running great, so I'm super happy about that. Definitely happy. Hey guys, so let's get back to the house. That was just a quick little ride to show you that the thing's running good now. All right, so we're back in the garage. Obviously, the bike is running really good, so we're super happy about that. Obviously, the carb clean ended up going very well, so that is good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if the clutch is slipping. It kind of seems like it, so we may have to replace that. But either way, super happy with how the bike is running now. I did put the bar end on that right side and the other side as well. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff to this thing and start digging into it. May even get into that clutch to see what's going on. But overall, for a first ride after getting those carbs clean, I'm super happy about it. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.